Oh, hi, you ducky loves. It's been a little while, hasn't it? Happy New Year to you all, and I'm wishing you all an amazing 2026. So, today I thought I would show you how to make Love You. Kiss, big kiss, little kiss. The reason why it's called Love You is so I made this one in honour of my mum. If you've got my recipe book, one book of fudge, then you'll know the story behind Love Yous because my mum loves strawberries and cream. And the Love You Big Kiss Little Kiss is because that's how I always would sign off. If ever I tell someone I love them, and Pandy, family, it's always big kiss, little kiss. And also whenever I sign my name, it's always big kiss, little kiss. But yeah, this one is a white chocolate condensed milk fudge with strawberries. So it's quite a straightforward one to make. If you've watched any of my recipes before, you'll know, or if you've got my book, you'll know that I have tried to make my recipes as simple as possible so that anyone can do them, really, because there's lots of different ways you can make fudge and different types of fudge. But for me, because I'm making such high volume and because it's not my job, it just works for me to be as simple as possible. And as the years have gone on, I've tweaked recipes that I weren't quite happy with, and pretty much got it down to a T at this point. So this one I use a tin of condensed milk because I'm near Morrison's. Quite often it's the Morrison's branded stuff that I use, but honestly you can use whatever you want. I use 500 grams of milk chocolate, which I always break up a bit as I'm putting in the bowl. But again, you don't have to, it will melt any way you do it. But I feel like if I break it up, it helps it to melt quicker. That might just be my own thoughts. So 500 grams of this little beauty. I always put the rubbish in the bin as I go as well. But that's just me, because I like to be tidy as I go. So that's the milk chocolate and the condensed milk. And then the next main ingredient is the strawberries. So I use dehydrated strawberries. Again, you can use any brand. I go on Amazon and find which is on offer normally. With dehydrated strawberries, what's really good about them is obviously where they're dry, the flavour is really intense. And when it's in white chocolate, you want it to be intense because you want it to cut through the creaminess. So I measure out about 30 grams. With these though, they do go soft quite quickly. So you can get smaller bags than this. So I'd say go with a smaller bag. For me, because I make so much of it, when it's on the menu, I always go for a massive bag. But you don't need one, because it's only 30 grams you need. This is a 250. Oh no, this is a 90 gram pack, but you can get them smaller, you can get them bigger. This is my lovely fudge cupboard, which is all nice and clean and organised. Now I use a meat cleaver to chop, but use whatever knife you're comfortable with. I use my lovely little starry wooden board. And then what I'll do is, I'll now get the fudge going while I'm doing this. So I use a microwave, and mine is 800 watt microwave, so you will have to adjust the time accordingly. But if you've got an 800 watt microwave, what I do is I put it on for 2 minutes. If you've got a stronger microwave, I would recommend doing it in 30-second bursts. But for me, with my microwave, I know I can put it on for 2 minutes and it's not going to burn the chocolate. As I say, where I've been doing this for 3 years, all my timings for everything is worked out to the minute, which I know is absolutely wild. But when you've made enough fudge, you soon realise you're able to literally get the timing down. So you chop your strawberries very finely. You can hear how crunchy they are. They smell absolutely amazing. So now your 2 minutes is up. It's time to stir. So I use a wooden spoon for this. With white chocolate, it melts really nicely. And you, as I say, I know my microwave, I can leave it for 2 minutes, but you've got to be careful because you can burn chocolate really, really easily. Some people use a saucepan to melt the chocolate and the condensed milk, but I believe that the easiest way to do it is in the microwave, and also I feel like you're less likely to burn it because all you've got to do is adjust your increments of when you check it. For white chocolate, for the amount I use in this recipe, it will melt completely in 4 minutes. But never ever just put it in there for 4 minutes because you need that stir. So it's gone from being the blocks of chocolate. Now, as you can see, I'm stirring it quite freely. So then what I'll do is put it back in there for the final 2 minutes. Now, while that's going, now I'm going to get my trays ready. So I use 9-inch metal tins. And what I do is put my baking paper over the top of the tin. And then I go round it with my pair of scissors, so then I end up with a square. Then what I use is one of my other tins to flatten it down in there. So then when it comes to stirring and pouring the fudge, I can just lift this top tin out and the paper will be flat, so I'll get a flat fudge. And then while I'm waiting, I just go over these strawberries again, just to see if I can get them any smaller, really. Yay, I'm happy with that. Now, this is one of my, well, this was actually my number one, no it wasn't, tell a lie, this was my second highest selling fudge last year, Love You. It's always really, really popular. I've got one customer, Callum, who as soon as it's on the menu literally buys it by the truckload. But this, I always put this on in January. I feel like January is my quietest time of the year because everyone's gone back on their New Year's diets. But Love You seems to be one that can coax people to buy some fudge. And obviously, because my main aim is raising money, I like to always keep my menu fresh so people can try different things and be coaxed into buying stuff to raise money. So I add a bit of pink food colouring into my Love You fudge because I like it to be pink. But you don't have to. Obviously, the colour of the strawberries is going to give it some colour. But I just like it to be extra pink. So then what I do is I get all my strawberries, use the edge of my knife, and I scrape them into my fudge. And then I stir in. Now, as you can see, there's a lot of strawberries in there, but also you can see how easy it is to stir because the white chocolate has all completely melted. So you'll probably be able to see on there that this changes colour because of the food colouring obviously in there. Now, the food colourings I use are the Rainbow Dust concentrated food colours. And I've tried different ones and they don't give me the colour I like. So I would recommend that brand, and I get them from Home Bargains. And they last for ages because you only need a tiny bit because it's concentrated. So now, food coloring's all mixed in, strawberries are all mixed in, and it's ready to pour. Now, obviously, be careful not to touch this because this is boiling hot. You will burn yourself. And then I just give it a nice little swirl. Fudge swirl on top. And there you have it, loves. Love You fudge. Easy peasy. Now, that goes in the fridge. I put it in the fridge for 2 hours and then I check it. Sometimes it needs longer to set. Sometimes I might let it cool. Basically, if you let it cool down on the side first and put it in, obviously it won't need to go in the fridge for that long. But depending on what you've got in your fridge, obviously putting something hot in there will heat up the fridge. So it's not... I wouldn't recommend doing it. I'd let it cool down and then whack it in your fridge for 2 hours. So what I'll do now is I'll pause the video now, and then I'll come back once it's set and I'll show you what it looks like all chopped up. Oh, hi you ducky loves. So 2 hours has passed and now I can show you that Love You has set. So now all I'm going to do is just tap the top. Yeah, that's rock solid. And then now all I'm going to do is peel the baking paper off, chop it up into 36 pieces. So a batch of fudge will always be 36 pieces, unless you do them absolutely ginormous or you chop them into slabs. Obviously, because I box them up, and there's 12 in a box. That's why it's all created for this size. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed making Love You. And if you did, please leave me a comment, a like, subscribe, share the video, etc. And I'll be back with you next Friday at 8 p.m. to show you how to make some more fudge. Enjoy.